Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy JTH. I'm back again. Alright, so I have been watching a few videos on YouTube about different Samsung phones have catch on fire, explode, or even where the battery expanded and room temperature, right? So the old phone, they stored somewhere in their room, closet, or whatever, and that when they go back to it, the phone battery has expanded on the phone. Okay, I'm not taking Samsung's side, but Samsung's not the only company that has definitely had gone through this issue from what I experienced, right? So, for instance, I have this FIMI-PALM, right? I had it for 2 years now, going on 3 years. I purchased it in 2020, early 2020. So we moved in here last year in November, but I did have, like I said, I had it in 2020. And it was somewhere in the room, whatever. So, you know, I used to mess with it, whatever. I couldn't find it, I finally found it. So this was like about 2 months ago. I put it on the charger just to mess with it because I wanted to give it to my son. And what I noticed after like 30 minutes, you know, I went out, I smelled something funny. So I was like, what's that smell? So I went back into the room and I found out it was this where the smell was coming from. So I picked it up and looked at it. So as you can see here, it was open like this, right? So I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? So when I go, it was real hot too. So when I picked it up, it was very hot. I picked it up and then look at it and I pressed the power to see if it would come on. But I noticed how the back piece was coming off a little bit, right? So I took the back piece off and when I touched the back side, it was hot. So I let it chill for a bit, about like 10-15 minutes and unplugged it to see what would happen, you know? So after that 10 to 15 minutes was over, I went back to it and as you can see this, right? So you can hear the sound. The battery had expanded so much to where, like, this was crazy too, to where it was looking like this, right? And I was like, what the hell? So if I didn't plug this, if I had went out somewhere and, you know, and this was still plugged in, I don't know what would have happened. The battery probably could have exploded or catch on fire or something like that, man. My house would have been total loss. Cause when we usually go out, we go out for the longest time. But I was shocked to see this though, that, you know, after 2 years, this happened to this. And I really liked this thing. It was fun just taking it out on trips and stuff, just playing with it to be the DJI Osmo killer or whatever, but it was nowhere near that. I know they had a FIMI-PALM 2. Haven't messed with that because I don't really care for it like that, but I was going to give it to my son. Thanks God I did charge it first and then, you know, and test it out and see if it was still working. Now, I mean, I haven't called FIMI-PALM, you know, to talk about it, but eventually I probably will, but it's probably out of warranty. Now, I have another item here that happened to me the same way too, kind of, which is DJI is wrong for this too. So this happened, I can't remember when this happened, about maybe 3 months ago. I went to go fly my drone. This is the DJI Air, the first one. I noticed that when I was flying the drone flew, I had it up there for probably for like 15 minutes too. And I don't know, it was doing some weird stuff in the air. So flew it back in and landed. But before it even hit the ground, it just dropped completely. I'm like, why did it do that? It still had battery charge and it was still on. So I noticed this was too. This had opened up. It was just like this. It was more like this though. Something like this, right? So I noticed that, I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is wrong with this thing? This never happened. I haven't heard anyone talk about that yet, about how even the DJI batteries are expanding to themselves, even after me flying it. But I have this one don't give me no issue. I have another one too, but I can't find that one. This one still works, right? But it wasn't in the drone. So I'm guessing when it's in the drone, it does get hot because it was very hot too. It does get hot. So when it was in the drone get hot. So I guess it made this expand too. But I had the drone for 2 years. I mean, never had that problem. I don't lost, I think, how many drones I have? I had the Spark, that flew away. And I called DJI, they sent me another one. Thank you for that. And then sold it, then got the Air, brand new. Thing cost me like about $1,200, man. I think I would never spend that much on a DJI item like that, unless it's the top of the line, whatever. But the one I had before flew away too, and someone found it. But I called DJI, and DJI was able to send me another one. I just sent them my flight records. They sent me another one later. Someone came by to my house and was telling me, hey, do you own a drone? And I told him, yes, I own one. And he told me he found it. And he went to his car and brought it to me. And I was shocked to see it. And I was wondering, how did he get my information? But we ran the serial number that was on the drone and found, my home address, everything was on there. And he came to my house and he delivered the drone to me. And I was shocked, I gave him $20 for that, just because not everybody, would do something like that. My wife would always tell me, hey, put your phone number on the drone, so in case someone find it, they'll return it to her, they'll call you or whatever, you can come get your drone, whatever. But yeah, this was really scary because, I fly my drone pretty high in a way, but that day I didn't fly because I was just back there in the lake, just, flying around the lake and stuff to see if I see any fishes in the lake. But it could have, it could have caught on fire and just landed in the lake or whatever, and boom, what would have happened? So I had to call DJI. I did call DJI. They told me to send the battery in so they can test it. I'm like, you want me to send the battery just to test it, or you want me to send the drone in? But I haven't sent it yet, so I'll probably send it later to see what they say. And of course, it's out of warranty. I didn't put any warranty on this drone, but I had that 1-year warranty before, but that expired a while ago. So those are my experience. So I do have a S8, Galaxy S8. Never had no issue, no problem. It's not broken, the battery ain't spam, never caught on fire, none of that. This is good. I still have my Note 10, no issue. Note 10 still a beast. I have no issue with it. And of course, I got a story for you guys too on the Fold. This is the Fold 3. Most people know I had issue with it too on my, I got videos on my page that talks about the issue I've gone through this. But I have to say, this phone had caused me issues too, where like before, with the problem with T-Mobile and Samsung with the update, to the point this phone had got so hot, right? When it did get hot that time, because it was tripping, I left it on my seat of my car, and it kind of like left a burnt mark on my on my seats. So I called Samsung and let them know, hey, something's wrong with my phone, man. You guys are tripping, and T-Mobile, this issue you guys got going on with T-Mobile, y'all need to fix this. So I sent the phone in. It took them 3 weeks because they had to evaluate the phone and everything. It took them 3 weeks finally for me to get my phone. At the same time, I did tell Samsung that my issue, that it did left a burn mark on my seat. So what they did, which was crazy, they actually sent me this estimate to how much it would cost me to fix my seat. So they sent me the money. I mean, they after after they did the evaluation with the phone, they finally sent the phone back. And from there, that's when they sent me another email about a week later telling me something about this is the price, the estimate of what your phone, of what the damage is to your car is. And they actually sent me the estimate. I was shocked. They PayPal me the money, and I'm talking about I was shocked. I just had to go in and put my information for PayPal. Literally, after I submitted it, 3 minutes later, boom, it was in my PayPal account. I'll show you guys, I guess, the emails and the deposit and into PayPal. I got to give it up to Samsung, and I really appreciate that they did do that. And thank you for that. But Samsung not the only one going through that kind of issue, and it's just something wrong with these lithium batteries that cause this problem, in your item. But people spend a lot of money on these things, and I don't think those stuff should happen like that. They need to find a way to fix that, keep these things secure. Ain't nobody want their house burnt down or their car burnt down. Like the Galaxy Note 7 that had issues back then, that was burning people's cars down. Man, I was reading so much stories about that, and that was shocking. But that's just it, guys, and like I said, it's not only Samsung, so don't get discouraged and just think it's only Samsung, and you don't want to get a Samsung phone, but it's not. Shoot, Apple, but yeah, I can't be mad at Apple. They haven't had any issues that I know of, so that's crazy. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching. You guys have a good night. It's real late. I need to go to sleep. tired. But all right, guys, man.